they're seeing shit like this. You know, they slip, and then they tag him. But Stanionis doesn't do that. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kai King here, and today we're going to be speaking about Jaron Boots Ennis versus Eimantas Stanionis. And make sure you guys subscribe and tune in, because moving forward, every single month, I'm going to try to predict every single fight that I can, as long as I see it on ESPN's boxing schedule and if it's on DraftKings spreads. This is a fight that we've all been anticipating for, because we know that this is going to be a fire fight. And here's our breakdown. I will not count Stanionis out, because I feel like he does have the tools and what it takes to possibly cause an upset, which is going to be crazy. Okay, so ultimately, I believe with the styles that we're seeing, I think that Boots has the style to be able to outbox Stanionis from round 1 to round 12. Therefore, for all the sports bettors and all the boxing bettors that are listening in, I would be very comfortable betting the distance and also betting for it to go over 10.5 rounds. And here's the reason why. Because the last fight that Boots had with Jaron, if that went 12 rounds, I'm pretty sure that this is going to go 12 rounds too. I mean, obviously, anything can happen, but logically speaking, I think Stanionis is even tougher than Boots' last opponent. So if Boots' last opponent was able to last 12, then I don't see why Stanionis can't last 12, unless obviously if one of the other stops of the other, which is always going to be possible. But logically speaking, if both can take each other's power, and if nobody runs into any crazy punches or any crazy shots, it should go the distance. And we do believe that both fighters are capable of hurting one another. I still don't know how well Boots can take a actual punch from somebody. Yes, I saw him get hit with Karen. I seen him get stumbled. He didn't really seem hurt, but Boots could be touched, all right? We learned that from his fight with the dude Karen. We haven't seen Stanionis fight someone that hits really hard and has a lot of knockouts, aside from the Russian dude like 3 fights ago named Radzab. And both warriors have a huge purpose coming into this fight. I mean, Stanionis is doing this for his family. He's saying that literally during the fight, his baby might be born. You know, that's deep to me. And I feel like just him thinking about that, and him being away from his family, and him sacrificing so much just to do this, is probably going to make him want to stay in the fight for 12 rounds. And obviously Boots, he wants the 2 belts, WBA and the Ring Magazine. So both warriors have a lot of purpose to stay in this fight, which is why I think that it's safe to say that it's probably going to go the distance. I think Bozy, Boots' dad, has been wanting Boots to use the jab again and to actually box, because he was saying that his son is getting too used to knocking people out. And I think if Boots starts off economically with his punches, which is actually a smart thing, because we don't want him, you know, to tire himself out, and then he's going to be taken out later on by Stanionis. And again, I'm not a fan of Boots or anything like that, but since I'm betting on Boots to win, then yeah, I would probably side him a little bit. But he's not like my favorite fighter in the world or anything like that. I think he's a great fighter, but I have my money already placed on him. So ultimately, you know, if Boots ever watches this, I don't know why he ever would, but let's say if one of his family members or whatever, because someone who KO Assassin was claiming that, you know, he's Shushu, Bruce Carrington's cousin, so I don't know if Boots' cousin might pop up on this. But yo, if you're reading this and stuff, tell your cousin, man, don't tire himself out, because in the later rounds, he could get picked up by Stanionis, all right? Because Stanionis, he's very economical with his punches. Every one of his punches are power shots, I noticed that. So he's in his high guard the whole time, and he's taking a lot of hits and stuff like that. But when he punches, I notice he doesn't miss that much. So Stanionis still has a full gas tank in the later rounds. So I don't want Boots to overexhaust himself in the beginning of the rounds, and then later on he can't defend himself, or he gets too sloppy against Stanionis. And Stanionis is pretty tough, even though he fights with a high guard, but he knows how to get loose too. He knows how to move. He's not just a stiff fighter. In the beginning, when I saw some of his fights, I was like, yo, this guy's just a very basic 1-2. He's very stiff, but no, his fundamentals are actually pretty solid. He could dance around when he wants to. He just chooses to be economical and be in his high guard. He takes shots, he tires you out, he wears you out, and he's still throwing shots. He has his high guard up, but he's actually low-key a counter puncher. A lot of people don't realize that and don't see him as a counterpuncher, because most people, when they see a counterpuncher, they're seeing shit like this. They slip, and then they tag him. But Stanionis doesn't do that. You see, he's very sneaky. If you know boxing, you know what I'm talking about. This dude will be in his high guard, and then as soon as you attack, he attacks with you. Soon as you throw your shit, yo, he'll tag you with a freaking hook. Soon as you throw that, boom, he's throwing while you're throwing. So, and we know that Boots sometimes, he has the nice short, uppercuts and shit, but Boots likes to throw wide a lot of times. And if Stanionis happens to time Boots while Boots is going ham on him or whatever, because he's on the high guard. So I know Boots is going to try to break his high guard. He's going to try to, go with his jab. He's going to try to throw the uppercuts in the southpaw stance, whatever he's going to get into. Stanionis already watched the tapes. He already knows. So he's going to work on that timing. So as soon as, Boots is trying to go to his body or go to, the side of his head or whatever the case may be, comment below if this actually does happen, because a lot of the times when I call these things, it does happen. Watch when I'm telling you, while Boots is trying to break Stanionis' high guard, he's going to get caught with some shit. And I hope Boots can handle his power, because if Boots can't handle his power, he's going to get stumbled. You already saw that in the Karen fight. He stumbled a few times, because he got caught. And I think Stanionis hits harder than the other guy. So I really hope that Boots has a chin. And we already know that recently that Boots has been kind of getting exposed with certain fighters, even though he's been winning them. But we see that he has a big flaw in his defense. So I'm just hoping that he doesn't get caught, because he is the favorite. Some of you guys who know me know that I used to live in Philadelphia, so 215, so I'm going to root for Boots, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want him to get caught. I'm just saying these things not because I'm hating on him or anything. I think he's a very great fighter. I think Stanionis is a great fighter too. I just don't want to see that. I think Stanionis will be very susceptible to Boots' jab and his uppercuts. And I'm going to say this. If Stanionis doesn't respect Boots' power, it's going to be a very long night for both of them, because it's going to be a clinching match. I know Boots is going to end up clinching him, because Stanionis is going to start walking him down and marching forward. And obviously, Boots may or may not clinch up, and he might decide to fight fire with fire, which he has done a lot of times, if he can take Stanionis' power. So ultimately, stylistically, we think that Boots can beat Stanionis as long as he keeps it in the center of the ring and he doesn't get up against the ropes. And obviously, like I keep saying, as long as he can handle Stanionis' power. I always tell people, styles and skills don't win fights alone, okay? It's styles, skill, and the power. That's what helps fighters win fights. And Boots needs to constantly work on his jab and never be stationary, because he has to keep that jab in his face, use that reach advantage, use that height advantage. As soon as he's stationary, I can already see right now, Stanionis is going to get to work. So never be stationary, Boots. You hear me? All right, everyone, that pretty much sums it up. We're expecting a firefight, and we can't wait for this to happen. So comment below if you guys think different, and if you guys want me to cover any other fight, let me know. If you watch my other video, I already predicted April 5th and April 6th. There's also a Google Doc, which I provide, a synopsis of what I think for every single fight that's going on. And make sure you guys subscribe and tune in, because moving forward, every single month, I'm going to try to predict every single fight that I can, as long as I see it on ESPN's boxing schedule and if it's on DraftKings spreads. All right, so until next time, and thank you guys for all the love and support. Until next time.